Welcome to 9to5Mac Daily for Thursday, May 13th, 2021. I'm Chance Miller. We are sponsored this week by TomTalk. Leading off today, in April, Apple officially opened the Find My network to third-party products, with the Chipolo One Spot, the Belkin Soundform Freedom headphones, and a pair of e-bikes. Now, the AirTag competitor Chipolo One Spot is officially available for pre-order. The Chipolo One Spot is an item tracker that's similar to AirTag, but one key difference is the design. The Chipolo One has a keyring hole that attaches directly to the items you're tracking. AirTag does not feature this, and instead requires that you use an accessory to attach it to something like your backpack or keys. Another difference is that AirTag is more water resistant because it can be submerged in up to 1 meter of water for 30 minutes. But the Chipolo One Spot can only sustain low pressure jet water spray. Chipolo says that its item tracker is easy to hear with a speaker that goes up to 120 decibels, and it also has a replaceable battery that lasts for up to a year, similar to AirTag. The Chipolo One Spot can integrate with the Find My network, so if the user loses an item, they can receive the help of hundreds of millions of Apple devices to find it in the Find My app. You can also use Apple's Find My application to locate the accessory, play a sound, and turn on Lost Mode, so you'll receive a notification when your item has been located. But of course, one major feature that's missing from the Chipolo One Spot item tracker is the ultra-wideband chip. This means that while AirTag allows you to use precision finding to locate nearby items, the Chipolo item tracker does not support this feature. Finally, the Chipolo One Spot undercuts the AirTag in terms of price, coming in at $28 for one or $90 for a 4-pack. The first orders will ship in June. In other news, the first M1 iMac and M1 iPad Pro orders have started shipping to customers. The first orders are slated to arrive on May 21st for both products. For some users, Apple had initially quoted a delivery of May 25th through June 2nd, but the company appears to have enough supply to beat those estimates depending on your configuration. We've also now gotten a closer look at early benchmarks for the M1 iMac. The M1 iMac performance is very similar to the new iPad Pro, which is to be expected given that the devices share the same M1 processor. The benchmarks from Geekbench show that the M1 iMac with an 8-core CPU achieves single-core scores of around 1700 and multi-core scores of around 7400. Again, this puts it in line with other M1 Macs and the iPad Pro. In single-core results, the M1 iMac is 78% faster than the previous generation 21.5-inch iMac powered by an Intel Core i3 processor. It's 42% faster than the previous generation iMac powered by a Core i7 processor. In multi-core results, the new M1 iMac is 124% faster than the Core i3 iMac and 16% faster than the Core i7 iMac. The benchmarks also show that the new M1 iMac operates with a base CPU frequency of 3.2 GHz and is running macOS 11.3. Embargoed press reviews for the new M1 iMac and iPad Pro are expected to arrive next week, and we're still awaiting shipment details for the new Apple TV 4K and the Siri remote. We are sponsored this week by TomTalk. 9to5Mac is teaming up with TomTalk to give away the new M1 iPad Pro, and you can also get 20% off TomTalk's iPad cases and more for a limited time. TomTalk is a leading accessory maker for your Apple devices, and the company's Padfolio maximizes the capabilities and functionality of your iPad case. The TomTalk Padfolio has a ton of capacity, with elasticized segments and extra mesh, allowing for plenty of storage options for accessories. This allows you to easily store your cables, your Apple Pencil, and your Magic Keyboard, with a separate compartment for your tablet that shelters your iPad. TomTalk's water-repellent fabric allows users to take their iPad on the go, worry-free, in all conditions. The Padfolio is available in 10 colors, and it's backed by TomTalk's 2-year worry-free warranty. Hit the link in the show notes to shop TomTalk for iPad and get 20% off at checkout. And also, don't forget to check out our iPad Pro giveaway for your chance to win the latest M1 iPad Pro. Apple on Monday hired Antonio Garcia Martinez, a former Facebook executive, to join its App Store and Apple News advertising team. But following reports of misogynistic comments by Martinez, Apple has now confirmed that he will no longer work at the company. In a statement to 9to5Mac, Apple explained that Martinez is leaving the company and that it does not tolerate any kind of discrimination among its workers. In the statement, Apple said, quote, "At Apple, we have always strived to create an inclusive, welcoming workspace where everyone is respected and accepted. Behavior that demeans or discriminates against people for who they are has no place here." End quote. The former Facebook executive had been hired to work in the App Store and Apple News advertising team, following his work on important projects related to advertising at Facebook. But as reported by 9to5Mac yesterday, Martinez had a history of making sexist and misogynistic comments over the years. Specifically in his book Chaos Monkeys, in which he talks about his experience working in Silicon Valley, there are many comments in which he diminishes the work of women in tech companies. Once these comments came to light, Apple employees circulated a petition internally calling for an investigation into Martinez. In the petition, the employees expressed concern about Martinez's views on women and people of color. The employees said that, quote, "His hiring calls into question parts of our system of inclusion at Apple, including hiring panels, background checks, and our process to ensure our existing culture of inclusion is strong enough to withstand individuals who don't share our inclusive values." End quote. A few hours after that petition gained traction, Apple confirmed that Martinez would no longer be working at the company. But what remains unclear is why Apple did not investigate his conduct prior to hiring him, and if they did investigate, why they moved forward with the hire. That wraps up another episode of 9to5Mac Daily. As always, you can find all of the latest Apple news on 9to5mac.com. Follow me on Twitter at ChanceHMiller, and be sure to come back tomorrow for a new episode of 9to5Mac Daily.